Hi, as Scott said, these are the stash excerpts for On My Nightstand. I think this is the fourth one. We are just 5 or 6 days away from launch day today, so this is really exciting. I'm going to read to you from the chapter called Checking In, and in this chapter, I've left my 2 children, and my soon-to-be ex-husband has flown me privately to a treatment center in Arizona, and I am humiliated and sad and mortified, and I am also sneaking in drugs with me into drug treatment. And I'm really afraid of getting caught. I have flashes of being driven to the airport in a black SUV while sobbing into a t-shirt I pulled out of my luggage. I remember seeing the Raytheon sign at Van Nuys Airport and avoiding the eyes of the pilot and flight attendant while getting on the G5 he chartered. I have a vague, watery memory of a tissue-strewn cabin floor and a bumpy landing at the Wickenburg Airport. But stepping off that plane into a stifling 112-degree heat and then getting in a startlingly cool Lincoln Town Car may be etched in my memory forever. That's when I knew it was real. The next thing I remember is standing in the lobby of the Meadows, soaking the admission papers with tears. I recall him looking grim while we said goodbye and being handed a copy of the paperwork I'd signed. I remember catching the amount at the bottom of the last page he signed and being stunned to see that my 30-day stay would cost him $40,000. I remember looking over at him then with a mixture of guilt and gratitude as an older black man came out to collect me and my bags and told me to follow him. I remember watching him until we rounded the corner and then bursting into fresh sobs. When they bring you around to orientation, a lady tech will give you your name tag and check out your person and make sure you didn't accidentally put something in your pockets that you're not allowed to have. His name is Clarence, and he walks with a slight limp. He explains he's usually the night tech, but today he's working a double. But while we're waiting, let's take a look at what you brung. He stops walking and sets my bags on a table, unzipping the suitcase right away. I see that we've entered some type of intake area. I watch him and hold my breath as he goes through my toiletry bag. He picks up my Colgate and throws it in a small bin beside him. Sorry, items have to be unopened. You can get some toothpaste at the commissary here. Really? I say as though I'm astounded. People sneak stuff in their toothpaste? Oh, you'd be surprised, he says, chuckling. People come up with all kinds of ways to bring their dope in here. You would not believe some of the ways. I nod, wanting to continue to engage him, but am now paralyzed with fear. He has the tampon box in his hand. He flips through the tampons one at a time with wizened mocha fingers and places his open hand on top of them and turns the box upside down, shaking it hard over a cloth-covered table. I feel myself starting to get lightheaded, so I will myself to breathe. Yeah, you wouldn't believe, he says, shaking his head. But I understand. I was one of them once. He winks at me. So I knows all the tricks. Hopefully, you don't know this one. I try not to look relieved as he sets the tampon box to the side and moves on to my unopened jam hair gel. He raises his head again, though, when he opens the duffel and moves my green dress aside. You can't bring drinks in here now. He picks up my Evian 6-pack and places it in the bin with the toothpaste. They should have told you. You can't bring this in. Gulp. I cover my throat with one hand as I'm positive he'll be able to see the arteries pounding in my neck. Oh, I thought the website said you could bring water, but only if it's in the original packaging. I try to look as innocently confused as possible. And I know there's no sugar allowed here, I add quickly. That's why I didn't bring soda or anything. Don't push it, girl. I'll check, he says, pulling his walkie up to his face with his free hand. Maybe you know something I don't. He radios to someone who doesn't answer, waits for a moment, then decides to move on. I'll put him in your room with the rest of your stuff if they give me the okay. But you best get going to orientation now. That lady tech's over there waiting for you. It's starting in a few minutes.